Let's tell you now what exactly is happening in the Middle East as we speak. Iran, on one hand, appears to be dialing down tensions with its neighbors, issuing an apology to neighboring countries. Meanwhile, the United States of America is hinting at a major, potentially devastating attack on Iran tonight itself. The conflict shows no signs of slowing, with Israeli raids inside Lebanon continuing. In this bulletin, we'll focus on war threats, apologies and ongoing strikes as the crisis enters another very volatile phase. Iran, as I mentioned, is signaling a possible pause in regional escalation. In a significant statement, Iran's president has apologized to neighboring countries for recent attacks as tensions in the region continue to spiral. Tehran today claimed that they never intended to invade or target the neighbors despite the ongoing hostilities with Israel and the United States of America. And after the Iranian president apologized to its neighboring countries for the recent attacks, US President Donald Trump has reacted sharply, claiming vindication for the ongoing US campaign. Trump claimed that, in fact, Iran has effectively surrendered to its neighbors, saying the country had been beaten to hell by the United States. Trump also asserted that Iran is no longer the bully of the Middle East and went on to call Tehran the loser of the Middle East. And that's the post that I'm talking about that he put out a short while ago. Trump further warned that Iran could face fresh strikes, saying the country will be hit very hard today, signaling the possibility of further escalation in the ongoing conflict. And how should we really interpret this important update that has come from US President Donald Trump? Let's go across to our guests who are joining us on the broadcast this evening. We have retired Commander V.K. Jaitley, ex-Navy veteran. We also have with us retired Colonel Dr. Rafal George Bochnik from the Bar Ilan University. Good evening to both of you, gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us here on Times Now. Dr. George, to you first. It's a big warning that has come from Donald Trump. What is it that you're expecting in the next few hours that could happen with Iran, given what he has mentioned in this post, something that was also said earlier by Scott Bessent?
Well, good evening. The idea behind the President Trump announcement is that the United States is enhancing its presence in the Gulf area in order to accelerate the numbers and the scope of the bombardments against Iranians' assets. We have heard last night that the aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, is on its way to the Gulf, and it means a real force multiplier in the capabilities of the United States to strike. And in addition to that, there are very solid information that the third air carrier, the George Bush, is on its way to the Mediterranean and then to join the U.S. Armada already deployed at the area. This means that nothing is going to low down. On the contrary, it's going to be more and more intensive. And I think the Iranians have a lot to worry about because the Americans and the Israelis are augmenting the scope and the level of the strikes since yesterday. And I believe that we will hear some important news on this respect during this evening and tomorrow morning.
V.K. Jaitley, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with what Dr. George has said, or do you think this could also be posturing, perhaps to bring Iran on the table for negotiation again?
Dr. George is very right when he says that the third aircraft carrier is being sent just to put additional pressure on Iran. Perfectly fine. And as far as the apology from the president of Iran is concerned to the neighboring countries, I think it's just an eyewash, because he has put a only apology only if you do not support the US establishment and their presence, and you don't allow US to use your land your facilities to attack on us. Only then. Everybody is allowing it. US is present everywhere in all these neighboring countries. So, and attacks are going on. So Iran will continue to hit them. On one side, they are giving apology. On the other side, they are sending missiles and the drones. Like even the Dubai airport is now out of operation because of their attacks. So this apology is nothing but an eyewash. And as far as the statement by the President Trump is concerned, that Iran has accepted their defeat, that they have surrendered. That's also, I think it's saying a bit too much, too early. Because I think President Trump has the habit of speaking too much. He goes out of the way and he underscores too many things when he speaks. So I think even his statement has no relevance that Iran has surrendered. I don't think so.
Okay. We leave it there. Thank you very much, Commander Jaitley, as well as Dr. George. Appreciate both of you for joining us and sharing with us your perspective on the statement that has been put out by US President Donald Trump and an apology that came from Iranian President earlier to the neighboring countries, the Gulf states specifically.